I'm running out of hard drive space and it's getting ridiculous. These are my actual hard drives that are plugged into this computer right now. I've changed the names just for security reasons, but this is everything I've got plugged in. My SSD number one is almost full. I've got another SSD, this 2 terabyte one, full. I've got an 8 terabyte hard drive and it's bloody full. And then I've got all these other hard drives and they're running out of space. And this is the ridiculous thing, right? I've got a 3 terabyte external not plugged in. These are all hard drives. Terabytes and terabytes. Look at this, handfuls of hard drives. It's getting ridiculous. I've also just got this random hard drive right here. I have so much data, and if I was to go downstairs, I would have more hard drives. How did it end up like this? I've got another hard drive. Oh my god, they're everywhere. Too much data, too much stuff. What is going on? So, I've always been a sort of archiver of my life. And even then, I've still lost half of my data. But I like to record things and I like to save them. I like to have pictures and save them all. But are we documenting too much? Are we keeping too much of our lives on these little metal discs or solid state drives, and it's just taking up tons and tons of digital real estate? I want to talk about that today and the reason why this has all happened in the first place. Well, what made it so much worse is I became a video editor. So that meant I had to hold terabytes of footage. One hard drive would typically equate to one video job. It still does to this day. And it's crazy. And then with the advent of things like Steam, Battle.net, the EA Play, whatever store you use, Epic Games, you could download all your games now. Suddenly, I have hundreds of games in my library and I can download them all, and now my hard drive's full. And then I might think, I might play that game. I might want to play this game, so I've got to download it. And then a second later, you need to uninstall it and download another game because your friends have moved on. Well, it just equates to tons of hard drive space. And then, if you're silly like me, you start making YouTube videos, and that needs more hard drive space. You start doing screen recordings, you start filming yourself, and suddenly you have no hard drive space and you're forever seeking more. It's just this sprawling thing. But if I think about how many hard drives I've had over the years, it would be a massive pile. And like I said, I like to document things. I used to have a lot of Facebook photos before they banned me. That's a whole nother story. And I lost childhood pictures. So many pictures gone. And I didn't have them on hard drives. And that felt really painful. I even had videos of me when I was in school. Like my last couple days of school, I took my camcorder in. I filmed us messing around. Gone. Lost those bloody memories. My first YouTube videos, they're on this platform, but the originals are gone. Because I didn't keep those hard drives. You make the video, you upload it, and it's gone. So, they're on a Google hard drive somewhere, but no, mine, I don't have access to their hard drives. But are we documenting too much of our lives? One thing that I find really irritating with my phone is it gets full all the time. So then I have to transfer it, and, Apple being annoying, I can't just plug it in and transfer things easily. So I airdrop it bit by bit to this laptop, then I transfer it to my fat hard drive, and then I consider it dead. It's gone. But I never look at it again. I've got all these old pictures of me, from being a teenager all the way through all of my 20s. I was a budding photographer, you could say, on top of making videos. So I've made lots of videos, taken lots of pictures, and they're all just on hard drives. I don't look at them. Our parents and our parents' parents didn't have catalogues and catalogues of pictures. I remember my mum had a few slideshows she used to show me. And my God, I used to find those slideshows so boring. I used to hate slideshows. But anyway, they didn't have loads of pictures. They might have had, 10 pictures of them as a kid, and then a couple pictures growing up. But most of it's stored in memory. Whereas now it's stored in memory, hard disks. Do we document too much? When I die, someone could look at my whole life. I've got my whole life on these hard drives. Apart from the bits I've lost, which have gone to the ether, it's all there. But who wants to sit through all of this? I just said I found my mum's slideshows boring when I was a kid. My kids are going to be like, why would the hell would I go through these hard drives? I do not care. They care about their own lives. They care about the things they want to look at, not what you did when, 30 years ago when you were a young'un and documented everything. No, so will I even look at most of this stuff? Probably not. Why am I holding on to it? Why are you holding on to these things? Are you probably holding on to these things? I only know Apple because that's what I've got, but Apple have this service where you pay them money and it can be backed up to the iCloud, whatever it is. I don't pay for that because I think it's bollocks, but there's going to be so many people where their lives, their memories are on the iCloud. Everything's there. And they're paying for all this backup. Do they ever look at those things? Do they ever want to go back and look through these pictures? Probably, maybe like once. And then after that, it's like, why do I have all these pictures? And because it's so easy, because I can now be like, oh, that's interesting, I'll take a picture. I have so many pictures on here. And then I think, why? I don't want to go through them. It's like something piques your interest in the moment and you want to capture it. But then it's not so interesting later. Yes, it's kind of interesting to look back on once or twice. But so really what I'm trying to say is, do we document too much? Are we putting too much of our lives on the hard drives, on the lens, through the lens? Are we just looking through screens at our own lives? And do we even care that much? Why do we keep everything? It's kind of that hoarder mentality. I know it's really tough for me to stop because I've been kind of doing it for most of my life already. Even before YouTube, I was filming things and had hard drives. And I remember how devastated I was when I was working on what I called the mini camera project at the time. I had this little Nikon photo camera and it did video in the most horrendous quality. And I was like, I want to make a skateboard video and I'm going to film parts of all my friends on this little Nikon camera. And it was on this external hard drive. You don't really need them so much these days with these little hard drives, but it needed power. So it was plugged in, spinning up, and then my friend knocked it on the floor. Bang, the hard drive was dead. The mini camera project was dead, and I lost everything. And that was really devastating. And yes, it feels devastating to lose your data. But do we store too much? I mean, there's always that, you've got to back up your data. But when you have an inordinate amount of hard drives like I do, backing up your data can be a real pain in the arse. And I know that if my computer was to die, say my hard drive died right now, it would be really irritating and I would lose a lot of stuff. So it just shows you my backing up plan is not good. But it just seems like so much work when I've got, let's go back to it. This is an 8 terabyte hard drive, even though it says 7.27. That's another thing. You never get the number that they say. It's always less. But this hard drive is almost full. There's so much crap on there. Old jobs that I've done, and I don't have anywhere else to put them. I've got another 8 terabyte hard drive downstairs that is a backup. It's a backup drive, and it's full. And what am I going to do with all this stuff? I don't know. This laptop here, the solid state in this is full. Oh man, it's a big load of work. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Thank you to my Patreons. I'm going to put Patreon link down below. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.